little sister be like, well, I got laws too. I mean, when she go to school, you have this hierarchy that just naturally keep going on and on and on, if you will. So that principle is really what the Kabbalah is trying to get us to look at. It's not trying to say that we just have to, like slaves, obey your masters. As you know, we say in slavery, or during slavery, if you will, there were hierarchies even amongst the slaves, meaning that the house slave had more authority or more mastery over the field slave. Okay, the strong field slave had more mastery over the weaker field slave. So that is just a natural thing. If you go into the belly of the beast, you'll just find these same hierarchies amongst so-called gangs, amongst corporations, amongst politicians. That system or that principle is always there. So let us look at them in modern language, if you will. The principle of mentalism, the all is mind. The universe is mental. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Master Fard Muhammad says that our universe covers 238 quintillion, 640 quadrillion miles. We do not believe in multiple universes. Now, I mean, mathematically, that doesn't make sense. That's like having an effect without a cause. Anything that go against these 7 laws is spooky. Anything. I ain't gonna say some stuff. Anything you can imagine. You cannot imagine something outside of the 7 laws that I just read to you. You can't do it. You cannot find a religion that doesn't teach the 7 laws that I just explained to you. You can't find it. It doesn't, because when you're dealing with something more than truth, you're dealing with what the Quran calls al-haq, or the reality. When you're dealing with the reality, not as things appear, but as they actually are, now your brain is not being limited by other people and other things, other places, other times. See, that's the devil's influence over you. The devil can come in and he know these laws. Believe me, the devil know these laws too, because the devil thing is y'all so spooky. Y'all look at God as being over there and the devil is being over there. That violates the law of polarity. Everything has its opposite. You can't have God without the devil. You can't have a proton without the electron. You can't have life without death. You can't have a cause without an effect. Even if you don't understand it, you may say, oh, he was lucky. It was, oh, they hit the lottery ticket, it was chance. But the people that run a casino be like, these jokers don't understand. This is all mathematics. When you roll the dice, if you got 1 to 6 on a cube, it's a mathematical phenomenon. When you understand mathematics, you can be like, man, give me them dice. I'm gonna show you, let me show you spooky joke or something. What I'm gonna do is something, I'm gonna show and prove something to y'all just to get y'all understand. I'm gonna go backwards. I'm gonna roll 7, then I'm gonna roll 6, then I'm gonna roll 5, then I'm gonna roll 4, then I'm gonna roll 3, then I'm gonna roll 2, then I'm gonna roll 1. How was I able to do that? Oh, he's lucky. They loaded, he's cheating. You don't know mathematics. Study your lessons. Your lessons are your blessings. I mean, I used to be known as Ace Money. I used to be in a gambler. It's nothing luck. There is no superstition. There is no chance. It's all mathematics. I don't care if it's cards or if it's your life. It's all based on universal mathematics. The principle of mentalism, the all is mind. The universe is mental. The principle of correspondence, as above, so below. As below, so above. This is why you see these pyramids lined up with the stars. I mean, it's not a chance. It seems like, oh, they just accidentally did it. They just accidentally built Stonehenge. It just happened to be pyramids all over the planet Earth. It's like, that's the spooky stuff. That's where organized religions come into play. Now, I mean, you know, and we're going to get into, now this was, I wanted y'all to go in the past. So we just went backwards. We just went back to Tahuti's teachings. Now we're going to cover something in the future. I'm going to come from When did I write this book? I wrote this book, let me check. I think it was like 20 years ago or something. I wrote this book. Oh, in fact, this was published by CAM Incorporated, Kareem Abdul-Muhammad Incorporated. Shout out to CAM Incorporated. It was at 4640 Hurley Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Shout out to two dedicated, beloved, much beloved Supreme Angels, beloved Sister Minister Martina Law in North Philadelphia, and my beloved Queen Sister Khalida Law. They were hardworking pioneers in this Supreme Angel work, and I really couldn't have got a lot of stuff done. They made my job much easier with their assistance, know what I mean, on each and every plane, know what I mean? So much love to the family. Miss you like old folks miss soft shoes. The ingredients to this is the age when gods won't age. That's what we're going to cover today. I'm going to just cover just one chapter. The age when gods won't age. How to master your emotions. I swear to God. 12 hours of light and 12 hours of darkness. Going back to them 24 scientists. And what is that spirit or law? And the last ingredient is postscript or PS U. So these are the ingredients in this particular book. The U is the most important one of them all. Okay, so I'm going to read from chapter 1, the age when gods won't age. Then I'll give a brief elaboration. We're basically going to cover Progeria. Remember, all is mind. Now, I mean, according to the Kabbalion, if I took this charger, now I mean, if I took this charger, notice if I swing it over here. See how mathematically it swings over there? A cause and effect. The pen is going to be like, it went 90 degrees here, it went 90 degrees over there. Everything about it is mathematics. Nothing is chance. Nothing is an accident. It seems like it. You'd be like, oh, baby girl spilled some milk this morning when we was eating breakfast. She didn't spill no milk. It's not an accident. When she spilled the milk made a noise when it hit the table. It moved exactly 1,120 feet per second. Look at the vibration of the fluid, the milk. It's running. It's going to keep running until enough friction from the countertop or resistance is going to stop it. It's going to seek its own level. If it's falling off, it's not going to float. The milk not going to float in the air. It's going to fall down. Why? Because it's going to obey the law. The milk is intelligent. The accident is mathematically designed in our universe because of the law of causation, cause and effect, actions and reactions, okay? So when we understand the science of time and the science of the time in which we are presently living in, now we talking the real time. Now, I mean, not just the time and what must be done, but the time according to Master Fard Muhammad's thinking, okay? That time, as Einstein correctly explained, time doesn't really exist. You make and unmake time. You make and unmake yourself, okay? You can age, like Malcolm X explained in his biography. In the autobiography of Malcolm X, he dropped a jewel in there a lot of people didn't get, and he was confused about it, know what I mean? But the Messenger Teachers covers it. He explained that when his brother went through some things in the Nation of Islam and he was stressed out, he said he basically seemed like he aged. Now, I mean, so rapidly, it was like, yo, what happened to you? Now, I mean, and when you read your Bible, those of you that are Christians, Protestants, what have you, remember Jesus had this stressful situation. He was stressed out, and he was praying in the garden so hard that he sweated blood. Imagine your brain is under such intense pressure. You know, black men with blood pressure. Imagine the vessels just busting, and while you sweating, physical blood is coming out. That's what type of persecution and trials and tribulations. But remember the law of the pendulum. The lower they take, the harder you fall, the more you're going to rise. He's going to become a universal life force. Know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you go through hell, but that means you're going to the sense of heaven. Yeah, it seemed like they're killing you or crucifying you. That means you're going to be mentally resurrected. So you don't have to have no fear. Fear no one but Allah. So what I'm doing in the age when gods won't age, I'm taking the devil's science because our people believe more in the negative than the positive. They believe more in the white than the black. They believe more in the European than the African. So understanding the psychology of our people, I want to give you what they say and then show and prove how it come from us. Like everything else, we're the causation to all things, and this is the effect. But the polar opposite works like this. In 2022, we know that there are physical human beings born on this planet where they age differently than people believe age operates. Like you say, the baby is 1 year old, 2 years old, 5 years old, 10 years old. Here is a child 10 years old that physically, mentally, organically is 100 years old. They have a dis-ease. There's something in the atomic structure of such ones that speeds up the time in their bodies. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us in his very last book, Our Sayers Arrived, 1974, that Master Fard Muhammad explained to him in the hereafter, after this destruction, the evil system is removed, the cause and effect, the pendulum swings the other way, we go back to blackness. Know what I mean? What's going to happen basically is we will physically have the look and vitality of a 16-year-old, and that youthfulness will be with us when we're 800, 900, 1,000 physical years old, meaning that a year will still be 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 46 seconds. But because of the vibrations that we're going to be vibrating on, our atoms will actually be vibrating on such a plane of existence that our heart won't be full with disease. Cancer won't find a place. We will not be able to physically die unless we want to die. We have to will ourselves into death. So this book, The God in the Mirror, is going to take you into this particular science. The age when gods won't age. Is it possible for a human being to live for 1 billion years? Is it possible to remove cancer or a deadly virus with just a thought? As impossible as it may seem today, tomorrow will prove, as Messenger Elijah Muhammad has revealed, there is nothing that is impossible. Did people really live 600 or 969 years as claimed by the Bible's book of Genesis? In the mathematical and scientific teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad, we find the answer is yes. As we reach self-perfection, we get closer and closer to the age when gods won't age. I quote Messenger Elijah Muhammad in Our Sayers Arrived, 1974, page 114. If you have Our Sayers Arrived, you'll see that this is a quote from the messenger. Also in the Bible, Isaiah mentions the long life of the righteous in these words, that a person 100 years old will be like a child, meaning that their age will never cause them to look old. They will have the freshness of youth, says the prophet Isaiah, and the Holy Quran also verifies the same. Allah, God, in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, out of his own mouth, said to me that he causes us to grow into a new growth, and that we will have the look and the energy of one who is 16 years of age, and our youth and energy of a 16-year-old would last forever. Messenger Elijah Muhammad, he Allah makes all things new. Our Savior has arrived, 1974, page 114. The messenger reveals a 100-year-old will look 16. In this present wicked civilization, this seems impossible. People seek the fountain of youth in lotions, creams, and even surgery. These minor fake methods are artificial and temporary at best. A 100-year-old who looks 16 does not sound crazy when we consider the fact that some people are born with a mutated aging gene. Some people are born with a mutated aging gene. In simple language, what we call time or aging, it's like your shoestrings. You see how you could take your shoestrings and put them through the eye sockets and tie your shoe up, make a bow, whatever, tie your sneakers up, your boots or whatever. Imagine the DNA imagine that tip of that shoestring getting free. It's hard to get it through the thing. Once that cap comes off the cell, it's like it unravels and the DNA gets to spilling out, and the DNA is not able to operate according to universal laws, and that cell is what we call a dead cell, and that can affect another dead cell. Then you got a cancer. Now you got a dead person at the end. Know what I mean? But it's really unique because Oprah Winfrey was explaining how they had the black woman that had a cancer tumor, and it won't die. The cancer cell won't die. That as long as they keep giving it some sugar water, keep feeding it keeps growing. I mean, but no matter what disease you may have, say you got cancer, AIDS, whatever, you notice that when you put the person in the earth or the person dies and you dehydrate, there's no more water, there's no more breath of life, there's no more root, there's no more soul, there's no more life, as they call that life force, that energy. We consider the person to be dead. But it's unique because what happens is the disease dies with the body. As long as we're eating the sugar, the salt, the seeing the sun, taking in the water, as long as we're living, the disease is living. But if we die, soon after, the disease dies with us. So we have a science here. The message reveals a 100-year-old will look 16. In this present wicked civilization, this seems impossible. People seek the fountain of youth in lotions, creams, and even surgery. These minor fake methods are artificial and temporary at best. A 100-year-old who looks 16 does not sound crazy when we consider the fact that some people are born with a mutated aging gene. There are children who are 16 that look 100. Picture a child who aged 10 times faster than normal. Now, I know young boys. I mean, they like 20. I mean, I teach young boys around here where I'm at now. Now, I mean, I be messing with them like, yo, man, how you 19 and got a gut? I mean, it's like all that weed and liquor and fast food or whatever. You know what I mean? You have sisters that's 40, 50, 60 years old, and they look better than the young girls. It's not just genetics. Genetics can play a part, but it's not just genetics. You know what I mean? You have people 65 that still do their push-ups, still do crunchies, still can run. Now, I mean, we went on a walking trail a couple of months ago in the summertime, and I noticed when we was walking, I seen like people 70, I mean, their 70s, 80s, walking, running. physically running. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, look how she riding a bike. You know what I mean? It's like we make and unmake ourselves. You know what I mean? It's like, if I'm drinking poison, smoking poison, eating poison, I'm gonna be poison. I'm gonna be full of poison. So it's like I'm getting all raggedy. I ain't work out enough. But if I take and want some my act, and I gotta balance this out. Let me eat my fresh fruits. Let me eat some raw food up here. Let me get some spring water. Let me get some rest. Let me get some sleep. Let me leave the player haters alone, and get some peace of mind and contentment. You preserve yourself. So if you're 30 years old, other people that's 30 years old, you'll see that some of them look 50 and some of them look 19. So you got people that's 50 years old and they look 75 years old. It's like, so it's a balance that you want. It's a bomb. I'm 57 years. I'll be 58 in January, inshallah, Sakeem, mathematically. But I don't try to do nothing perfect and holier than thou, but I do make sure I keep my act. When I'm 65, I'm still doing push-ups. I'm still doing my crunchies. I'm still power walking. I'm still going to know my lessons. I'm still teaching Elijah Muhammad if I'm physically here, inshallah, because I'm doing something to balance that. I know it's nothing spooky with that. Not that you have people that eat 1 meal a day, don't smoke, don't drink, and they drop dead. So it's not a single issue or a single thing that you do, but it's a mental and physical thing. How to eat to live is corny compared to how to mentally eat to live. If you're physically focused on fasting and Ramadan and you're vegan, that don't mean nothing if your brain is not thinking the right thoughts. Thinking the right thoughts is way more important. You could be drinking whiskey, snorting, smoking, and you be healthier than a mug because of the way you're thinking compared to someone that is pretending to be holier than thou and they're just this perfect person. No, they're not. So the cause and effect, the actions and the reaction, remember, all is mind. So understanding that law, remember, time really does not exist. It's the law of vibration that makes us young and old. Just the law of vibration. So we're going to cover this disorder. There are children who are 16 that look 100. Picture a child who ages 10 times faster than normal. Biologically, they could be on Earth for only 10 years, each comprising 365 and 1/4 days. Yet their bodies are genetically 100 years of age. This unique dis-ease is called Progeria. Progeria, that's Progeria. It is an abnormal, congenital, meaning existing at birth but not hereditary, condition characterized by premature aging. This is in the scriptures. The appearance in childhood of gray hair and wrinkled skin, small stature, absence of pubic and facial hair, and the habitus of an aged person. They have arthritis, they move slow, the whole nine. Like they're only 10, but they body and their lifestyle and their mind is moving like they're 90. Death usually occurs before 20 years of age. Progeria proves that the human body can age more quickly than the motion or time of the planet. Can progeria be reversed? Meaning we know, I remember back in the 80s, I seen, I'm not going to say true, I seen people with this disorder on talk shows. It was 40 years ago, so I can't even remember. I think it was like Phil Donahue or something like that. It was, on one of them talk shows, but they had the doctors and they had, and I seen some that real intelligent. I remember the one guy, know what I mean, he was real intelligent, real active, know what I mean, and he knew that his time with this disease would be short, and he lived a beautiful life, and he died in peace. Know what I mean, died in his sleep. I remember that stands out to me. I remember him. Know what I mean, and it made me think, wow, here it is. We can be 10 and had a appearance of 100, and here the messenger telling us, and now says arrived, we can be 100 and had a appearance of 16. You see? So it gives credence to what Master Muhammad taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad about the hereafter, that in the hereafter, if you cut my arm off, I'll grow another arm. This is why the devils is studying stem cell research so much, because they believe it. They know it. They have wisdom of it. They understand it. They just don't have the technology yet to master it. But believe me, they are working overtime in their private islands and underground caverns and mountains and laboratories to try to understand this science. It's a science to them. Know what I mean? I understood it as a child when I was about 6 years old, because I lived in North Philly. We used to go to Huntington Park and take pickle jars and catch insects. So when I lift up the rock and I catch the lizards and stuff, and I put the lizards in it, I noticed that the salamanders and all that, if you hold them, they'll break their foot off. Like, his foot came off, and it's like, whoa! I got him in the bathtub playing with, and the lizard tail came off. And when the foot came off, it grew another foot. I'm like, what the? I mean, like in a couple of days, I seen a little tiny nub come out. It was like imagine a frog or something losing a limb, and then you see that in nature, some things that just grow another hand. It was, to me, real magic. That right there was the most powerful. That was better than Santa Claus, than Easter bunnies, Batman and Robin. It's like, yo, I need to study the sciences of life, because nature is the real magic. Mother Nature is full of miracles, mathematical wonders, but there's nothing spooky about any of it. See, when we don't understand something, it seems spooky. But I'm looking at it like, whoa, that's deep. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? It's like, man, that's something. You know what I mean? Like, Dad, you know what I mean? Threw that rotten tomato in the grass, and tomatoes grew next year. I seen all this tomato. I remember throwing the tomato over there. That's the mathematics. That's how cause and effect operates in the universal order of things. Okay, so this is called progeria. It is an abnormal, congenital, meaning existing at birth but not hereditary, condition characterized by premature aging. The appearance in childhood of gray hair and wrinkled skin, small stature, absence of pubic and facial hair, and the habitus of an aged person. Death usually occurs before 20 years of age. Progeria proves that the human body can age more quickly than the motion or time of the planet. Can progeria be reversed? My answer is yes. What makes the DNA become so toxic that the very atoms vibrate, the law of vibration, that the very atoms vibrate above normal, and the age gene makes the child other than itself? Can the secret be unlocked by practicing how to eat to live? Can this ageless body be free of diseases? The answer is yes, yes, yes. But only by studying, believing, knowing, becoming wise to, and understanding the raw teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad will the balance of culture and science be manifested. See, right now, it's so much racism. You have people that could easily find a cure to cancer, but because of classism and sexism, they can't take the human species to that next level. You know what I mean? You know, you got children in the ghetto and the projects that are born geniuses that could solve many of the world's problems. But if they not getting a decent breakfast when they go to school, how that little brain's going to operate? The brain absorbs the majority of the sugar that you use when you eat your carbs. So they hungry, so that they operating with a deficiency. We losing because they're losing. And this is why we have to push for peace, truth, freedom, justice, and equality. By definition, age is the length of time someone or something has existed. Today you may exist or live in the person. Your God form consists of water, meaning blood, vegetation, meaning flesh, and stone, meaning bone, charged by electricity, what we call the mind. The mental not that the mind is electricity, but we're saying these forms. I'm just using this as an analogy because the messenger uses this basically in how to eat to live. Our bones are stone. Our flesh is vegetation. Our blood is water, meaning that all the elements that's in the earth is in your body. But if you're taking the elements of the earth into your body and you're lacking vitamin E, I mean, your skin and your hair is not going to be healthy. You're lacking calcium. You're lacking magnesium. You're lacking B12. Now, I mean, you hear me always talking about B2. B12 is very important, family. Now, I mean, but the devil is giving us all this grafted stuff. In fact, I gotta make sure I get